one of YouTube's newest features might actually be hurting the reach of your YouTube channel. And this feature might be set for your channel and you might not even know it. In this video, I'm gonna share with you what that feature is, the 2 red flags you need to look out for to know for sure if it's hurting your channel, and the people this feature could help. Hi, my name is Erika Vieira. I am a YouTube strategist and coach for the last 8 years, working behind the scenes with women entrepreneurs and creatives to grow their YouTube. And this channel is all about real talk for women YouTube creators. So if that sounds like your jam, then make sure you hit subscribe because ladies, class is in session. Now, this whole topic came about in one of my group coaching sessions for my YouTube bootcamp. And that's what's great about being part of a community of other YouTube creators, because you could get the up and up on what's going on YouTube right now. I knew I wanted to look more into it. I deep dived into all the channels that I have access to, which is a lot. And I came up with some really important data points that you're going to want to know about. So do not click out early. So what is this mysterious feature that you need to know about right now? Well, it's YouTube's auto dubbing. So I'm going to give you a whole context so you really understand what's going on here. In the last year or so, AI has really taken off, and there are a lot of new advances because of AI. And YouTube is investing in some of those advances on its own platform. And one of those is automatically transcribing people's videos and auto dubbing them in other languages so that people all over the world can enjoy your videos, not just people in your own language. In theory, it sounds amazing. Instead of being able to get your usual 2,000, 5,000, whatever number of views, now you're opening up the doors to so many other possibilities of viewers. But here's where in practice, it doesn't always end up that way. We all know that with YouTube, you've got to be very strategic and intentional with the videos that you create. So YouTube understands what your videos are all about so that YouTube serves it to the right people that you want to attract. And we're all working really, really hard to figure that out. Now, here's where the auto dubbing actually makes it a little bit tricky. Instead of YouTube pushing it out to people within your own language, now it's got a whole bunch more people to be able to serve it in front of, which potentially dilutes the ideal niche bubble that YouTube is testing your videos in. Now it has a whole bunch more people that it could potentially test your videos. And that's not always a good thing, because these people might not always be aligned with your content. These people might not be your ideal viewers. YouTube is constantly trying to figure out what that is. And if YouTube is putting your videos in front of people that are not your ideal audience, your retention can suffer and your click-through rate can suffer. And if one or both of those things is not performing well, that can just stop a video in its tracks from going any further. And we've all seen that dreaded line: as the impressions go up, the click-through rate and retention goes down. That is what you don't want. So it is important that YouTube is serving your content in front of the viewers that want it the most. And to YouTube's credit, YouTube does a pretty good job at this. But this auto dubbing feature is new, and the problem is twofold. Now you got all these additional people that YouTube is kind of testing the waters with and figuring out who your content should be in front of, and the uncanny valley of auto dubbing. And here's what it sounds like.
Today I have a lot of exciting insights for you again. Things you absolutely need to know about heart types. Today's video is about the handbag trends for this fall and winter.
I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to hang around and watch a video that is auto-dubbed. That's just me, but I have a feeling that most people, if they get the sense that it's not in their own native language, they're not going to stick around that long either. It's ultimately hurting your reach if YouTube decides to serve your video in front of a whole bunch of people because you have this setting on. I want you to think about your YouTube channel as a nice dinner party where the guests are hand selected, they're people you know that people are going to get along with each other, right? It's just like intimate, bougie dinner party. Now auto dubbing blasts your dinner party invite to a whole bunch of people in your city, people that you did not really want to be there or you think would mesh with the vibe of your channel. Now your intimate dinner party fills with people that don't share the taste, share the values, share the references, share the insider jokes, all the things. Maybe they're like, this isn't for me. They walk in, they're like, this is not my vibe. Why am I here? And they walk out of the room after eating one bite of food. The noise of all those people drowns out your actual guests. And the host, which is YouTube, decides, this dinner party sucks. As I said earlier, there are two major ways that you can determine if this setting is impacting your YouTube channel. And we're looking at the data, ladies. This isn't just guessing. Because of what I do, having access to so many different channels and analytics, I'm able to look at patterns, look and see what's going on across multiple channels, across multiple niches, across multiple sizes. And here's what I saw. What you want to do is go into your audience tab. Now, the audience tab, there are two sections that shows what are other channels your viewer watches and what are other videos your viewer watches. Now, not everybody has this section populated. If you have this section populated and the videos and channels are totally within your niche and in alignment with the type of content you create and the type of audience you want to attract, then you're good. This setting is probably not impacting you. However, if it says YouTube does not have enough data to give you this information, then you are most likely at risk of this impacting you because YouTube isn't yet sure who your viewer is. When you're one of those people that YouTube is sure who your viewer is, there's not really that confusion. It's generally when YouTube is trying to figure it out. So it's now pushing your videos across multiple different types of people, different audiences, and that's where I have personally seen this setting negatively impact you. The other place that you can look at is go into any of your videos, your recent videos, and go under traffic sources. Drill down the different traffic sources that make up the views of that particular video. And then you can see under suggested which videos YouTube is suggesting your videos against. This is another clue. If a bunch of those videos, or even a quarter of those videos, have videos in other languages or just look like they're in other languages but are like totally not in your niche, that's also a good sign that this feature is negatively impacting you. So those are two places for you to look. If you are somebody that in looking at those two places don't have an issue and you see people within your niche, say you talk about like luxury handbags and you go under and you see, oh, it looks like all these other channels that talk about handbags are similar channels to what my audience watches, then you're good. If you go under the suggested videos and it looks like they're either your videos or a bunch of videos within your niche, then you're good, regardless if it's in English or another language. It's when you go into these sections and there's either no data or there's a whole bunch of mismatched data. And I'm not saying that this cannot happen without that auto dubbing feature. So if you turn off that auto dubbing feature, you might still have videos under suggested that don't seem like they're in alignment with exactly who your niche is and audience is. Just means YouTube is still trying to figure out who your audience is. But having that auto feature turned on, it almost expands that reach that YouTube can test. And we don't necessarily want that unless for some reason your ideal audience happens to be in another language. All right, so if you want to turn off this feature, you need to go here to settings and then go to upload defaults, go to advanced settings, and then make sure that you turn off automatic dubbing and then you save it. Who does this really impact? Generally speaking, it's smaller channels, newer channels that YouTube hasn't yet figured out who their audience is. I would suggest turning that feature off. Newer channels are at risk, but also channels that are in a niche shift. And I get a lot of people who come to me to help them with their YouTube channels if they're looking to pivot their niche. And that is where you have to be very, very strategic and very deliberate with the type of videos that you do. So if you're looking to pivot away from the niche you have on your channel now, you're also probably going to want to consider turning off that setting because you need to be super deliberate with your content if you're looking to pivot on the same channel. If it's not you, I wouldn't really worry about it. You might want to continue looking at those analytics, making sure your channel isn't being impacted in that way, but you probably don't have to worry about it. Say you're someone who has the audience data populated and see related videos in your suggested feed, but your views are still dropping. Then this auto dubbing problem is probably not the reason why your views are dropping. And if you want to know why and you want me to diagnose that for you, definitely check out my live masterclass where I talk about my YouTube brand blueprint and the strategy that I have with all the channels I work with. Additional insight from what I see, because this is what I do all day long, YouTube all day, every day, day, I advise people to really think about what is your monetization strategy, because that's ultimately what's going to determine whether or not you want an international reach. For some people, it makes sense, but keep in mind the US and English speaking countries generally have the highest AdSense revenue. So if you are attracting an international audience, sometimes those AdSense revenues can be a lot lower than English speaking ones. So it's something to consider. The other thing to consider is that if you are selling a product and service that's not available internationally or to non-English speaking people, then what's the point in attracting non-English speaking people to your channel? Because they're most likely not going to want to buy your products and services. So while appealing to an international audience and a non-English speaking audience, it's great in a lot of ways, but it might not be for everybody. And you really, really want to think about, what's my ultimate goal here? What's my monetization goal here? Is there even a point to attracting these people to my channel? So that's it. I hope it was helpful. If you want to keep watching from me, definitely check out this video on why doing YouTube Shorts might not be a good idea for your YouTube channel either. And if you want to join me live to learn about my YouTube strategy that I've built over the last 8 years working with over 2,000 women creators, then check out my next live class, and I'll put the description in the link below. Until next time, keep shining, keep creating, and most importantly, keep being you. And if you made it to the end, make sure you subscribe. Mwah!